Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Tuesday, and all of our guests today, including Craig Button, standing by, brought to you by the Waddling Dog Pub. The Waddling Dog Pub has the busy fall season covered. Come cheer on the Canucks, Lions, Seahawks. You could cheer on the Whitecaps, but their season is over and done with. All while enjoying one of their 19 taps, including beer, wine, and cider. Check out the daily happy hour from 4 to 6, every UFC pay-per-view, and attached liquor store and hotel. Also, don't forget to grab some Donnie and Dolly merch as well. The dog is the place to be this sports season. You can tell that Rick's excited about that. Joining us now, as usual on a Tuesday, TSN Scouting Director Craig Button. Thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I am good, but I'm not as good as things with Canucks fans. Oh. It's going good in Vancouver.
6-2 Canucks over the Oilers. This is our poll question. What surprised you more, the Canucks' success or the Oilers' lack of success?
Oh, I think it would be clearly the Oilers' lack of success, because it's one thing, the Vancouver Canucks, you look down the stretch with Rick Tocchet, they played pretty well. Rick was very clear in what his expectations were, and the team started out very well. But it's not just where the Edmonton Oilers find themselves. I mean, they're not even in games. I mean, they get beat on back-to-back nights, on back-to-backs by teams that had won the previous night in Calgary. Then that was the Rangers and the Dallas Stars. Then they get waxed at home by Nashville, and they're not even close in the game last night. And you consider how much talent the Edmonton Oilers have in the top part of their lineup. And I make that distinction in the top part of the lineup. But when I watch the Edmonton Oilers right now, I mean, they are so casual and they are so carefree in their approach to playing. And if they think they're going to have success playing like that, I mean, we may be ready to talk about the 2024 draft. Who's in the top 5 for the Edmonton Oilers next week? That's how bad it is.
Yeah, maybe they'll win the lottery again. Hey, Jay Woodcroft. Hey, Craig, we've seen it before. Jay Woodcroft gets booted out of the game last night. What about his job security, Craig?
Well, when your team is 2-8-1 and playing the way it is, I mean, I don't think. I mean, the proverbial hot seat. I mean, it's hot. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I mean, we talk about a team. You know what disappointed me last night with Jay is when Jay gets thrown out of the game. It was almost like he was trying to get thrown out of the game, and I don't like that. You know what? The players got to hang in there and take their licks, so to speak. And, you're looking for the exit ramp. I didn't like that one bit. And then he talks about Evan Bouchard after the game. Well, I couldn't bench Evan Bouchard because, we were trying to get back into the game. What? I mean, Evan Bouchard's the one that puts you in the hole. He was one of the guys that puts you in the hole. And until a coach wants to take players and say it's not good enough, and part of the whole thing about, with ice time and whatnot, if you got to play with 8 forwards, you got to play with 4 defensemen, the peer pressure from the other players going, hey, I can't keep going out there every other shift. You got to pull your weight here. That provides. And so Jay bailed on the game by getting thrown out, and then he bailed on his he abdicated his own responsibility. So I would say that seat I wouldn't sit down if I were him, because the coaching hot seat in Edmonton is flaming hot, just like the team. I mean, I thought after the Calgary game and the Heritage Classic, 2 teams that were dumpster fires. Now, the dumpster fire now is Edmonton, or the bigger dumpster fires in Edmonton right now. And you look at McDavid, you look at the spirit of the team. Oh boy, change has to happen. And the old proverbial, it's easier to change one coach than all the players. That applies. But I'm not impressed with what Jay has been doing. Not one bit.
A lot of people impressed with the Canucks. I got to get back here. They're 9-2-1. I know it's early, but the big question I still see, are they for real? It's early. Craig, give us your thoughts. Are they for real? What's happening? How impressed are you with the Canucks?
I'm very impressed. And so you start off to be in the season. So you look at a team, and we talked about this at the outset, Rick and Donnie. We talked about, okay, they made some incremental improvements on the blue line. Got competitive players at Susie and Cole. The trade for Roenick last year, he didn't come in; he was hurt. You could see that was an improvement. How much of an improvement? But they were going to be more competitive. So now you look at it and you say, okay, like they've made some steps forward. But now you watch the team and they win their first 2 games against Edmonton, and you go, okay, and then they get on the road and they have success, and you move from, okay, should I believe, to like, should we doubt them? Should we really believe them? Well, 9-2-1 in the way they're playing, I think doubt should have left the room now. I think that they've shown a lot of good things in their game, and it reminds me right now of the Calgary Flames 2 years ago. The Calgary Flames started out, they ended up winning 50 games. There was a lot of questions because, Darryl Sutter had taken over partway during the previous season, and it exactly wasn't, a team that you looked at and said, wow, they're going to be really good. They went 150 games. And that's what the Vancouver Canucks remind me of now. They remind me of a team that's a team that's playing hard together. Yeah, there's going to be mistakes in a game. There's some areas I'm sure that Patrick Allvin would like to improve. But this is a team that's playing hard and playing together. And Demko's been outstanding. And I know we're going to joke. I mean, I joke about this all the time. The best player in the NHL playing right now is Quinn Hughes. And the second best player in the NHL right now is Elias Pettersson. They are the two players playing the best in the NHL right now. Now, most of the East has no idea about that. And if you say that, but you guys watch, I mean, and I know Matthews has 13 goals and Kucherov has played great, and Jack Hughes got hurt and he was playing great. In my view, at this point in the season, the players playing the absolute best, top of their game in the entire league are number 40 and Quinn Hughes.
Craig, who's not playing well is the San Jose Sharks. Their GM, Mike Greer, had to go in the dressing room yesterday and talk to the players. He said unacceptable. We all knew they were going to be bad this year, but Craig, nobody thought this bad.
What's Mike Greer going to go in and tell the players?
Well,
seriously, what's he? Yeah. The players all know. I mean, it's an American Hockey League team, Rick.
Yeah,
that's what it is. So what's he going to do? It's unacceptable. Well, yeah. What's unacceptable? That they have an American League roster trying to compete at the National League level. That's what the players all know. They're not anywhere near good enough. I mean, I've watched their games. I mean, Pittsburgh was stumbling and bumbling and going there and put up 10. I mean, the best tonic for the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, we play San Jose in our next game. Isn't that nice? I mean, Mike Greer can go in there and peel paint off the walls and scream. I mean, it's a bad team that's not going to be I think it might be one of the worst teams all time. And I know people go, worse than the Washington Capitals in 74. Well, it was very different in 74 because they weren't allowed to get any players. That isn't the case now with the San Jose Sharks. You got to spend to the floor and everything. It's an awful team. And Mike Greer should take a good look at himself. Get more competitive players in there, Mike, because your team, it would have a tough time beating good American League teams right now. That's how bad they are.
Okay, down south from there, are you a believer in a Ducks team that has surprised a lot of people? They've won 6 straight, Craig.
I am. They have good goaltending. That's number one. Cam Fowler's a good defenseman. Minchikov, some of the younger players have come in. And keep this in mind. Troy Terry's played great. McTavish has played great. Trevor Zegras, I know he's on the cover of EA Sports. If it was, they might want to put him on a milk carton because he's gone missing for the Anaheim Ducks. He finds his game, and that's going to even be a better team. But Greg Cronin has that team playing hard. He has them playing smart, and they have enough good players. I was asked this, who do I believe in more, Arizona or Anaheim to contend for a playoff spot? I like Anaheim better to contend for a playoff spot. And, Arizona is not an easy out, but I really like the way the Anaheim Ducks are playing. And they got a lot of promising players on the horizon coming, and they're only going to get better in the years to come, but they're impressive.
You're in PEI, is that right, Craig?
I am in PEI for the World Under-17 Hockey Challenge.
Okay, give us a name or two. Who have you got your eye on?
Well, I mean, you come here and you don't really even have to. The good players just jump out at you. Gavin McKenna, who plays in Medicine Hat, I mean,
Yes.
he's not eligible until the 2025 NHL draft. I mean, he's just superb. I mean, he is unbelievable. It's Connor Bedard's cousin, just an unbelievable player. Will Moore, he plays for Team USA. I mean, who doesn't like 6 foot, almost 6'3", big, strong, skilled centerman? That's Will Moore. I mean, and for Team USA, and Otto Stenberg's younger brother Aver had 4 goals in the game against Canada Red on Monday night. Another real promising young player from Sweden. And I will say that Marcus Nielsen, you remember Marcus Nielsen? His son is on this team and on this Swedish. This is one of the best Swedish teams I've seen in an age group in a long time. They're big, they're skilled, they're aggressive, they're hard, and they beat up on Canada Red on Monday night pretty good. So those are just 3 players that I mentioned. But I mean, for me, McKenna leads the way. I mean, he's just a brilliant young player.
Is Ken Holland there?
No, Ken Holland isn't here. I don't know what Ken Holland is, but I mean that team in Edmonton, he's got to find some players that could be a lot more. I mean, his team. To me, when you're non-competitive and you're not working and putting forth the effort, that's a real concern.
I shouldn't pick on Ken. He's a friend of the show. The Canucks have had a couple of good weeks, and I shouldn't pick on him. Hey, have a good time in PEI. It's not possible to have a bad time. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, Donnie? You're exactly right. It's impossible.
Thanks for this, Craig. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.